I am the president of Uganda. If you want to check my power, you try it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. Yep, this is me. Yeah, His Excellency the President of Uganda Democratic Union. Now today my topic is one, Uganda democracy together with His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, point of clarification, and that's why I am here. Do Uganda really have democracy? Yes or no? Okay, is Uganda authoritarian regime under Yoweri Kaguta Museveni rules? Yes or no? Now, point of clarification. Now, most of you maybe who have been listening to Andrew Mwenda a lot, Andrew Mwenda has his own theories how to explain things, and I respect him. By the way, Andrew Mwenda was one of my teachers, by the way. Andrew Mwenda, not that he taught me fully, but one time I remember he came in the class and he gave us a little bit touch of History 3. Yes. And that is how I end up falling in love with Napoleon Bonaparte and the French revolutions. But apart from that, I always sometimes get his theory, but I also sometimes disagree with Andrew Mwenda a lot. Not that because that I don't like some of his theory, but the way he puts things there, here and there. But today, let me put clarification clearly to the people of Uganda. Is Uganda under democracy? The answer will be absolutely yes, Uganda is under democracy. But also, is Uganda under authoritarian rules? The answer will also be yes. Now, you might say, but Michael, you're confusing us. Why are you saying both of them is operating in this country? Now, let me put it right now, that Uganda, we have democracy, but the democracy which allows the people to operate within the circle, within our means. But then the authoritarian type of rules is to help us to counterattack certain threats that might come wants to destroy the democracy. Now, look at the type of peace we have in this country. Now, rule number one, we have freedom. So Uganda, we have freedom. There's a freedom of speech. There's a freedom of expressions. Of course, a little bit freedom of gathering, although some has been depressed a bit, but we still have it. So you might say, but Michael, we don't have freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of expression. Guys, don't be fooled. Okay, don't be fooled. Now, look at how people talk about Museveni on social media. Look at how people talk about Museveni on TVs. Now, to be honest, I want us to be honest to ourselves. If Museveni was truly a dictator, trust me, none of you could even say his name on radio station. You know, sometimes if you turn radio station on, you will hear people talking a lot of shit about this guy. But not everyone is arrested. Now, the problem we have is some of us, the Ugandans, we violate certain rights that we have been given. Now, if you make a video, or if you're on radio station, or you're on TV, and then you make a statement, look like a threatening statement, sincerely, even if it's you who is the president sitting in that chair, would you just take it like that when someone threatens you? No, let's go back to USA. In USA, we believe they are the founder or they are the source of the democracy, although even USA themselves, they have their own democracy systems. China has their own rules. UK has their own democracy system. Australia, mention them, Canada. But then, in USA, the moment you do something like a threatening message towards the president or towards any leaders within the United States, trust me, the FBI will not just keep quiet and sit and look at you. The CIA will not just keep quiet. The Secret Service will not also look for you. Why? Because it's a threatening message. Now, the challenge we have here in Uganda is people are misusing the rights that we have been given. Now, that's why they keep telling people we have no democracy, we have no democracy. No, we have democracy. Okay, we have democracy, but the problem is we are misusing the democracy and the right that has been given to us. You get the point, guys? So I want us to put that one very, very clearly. Now, currently we see there's a high number of adoption. Now you ask yourself, then why, if we have democracy, why are people being adopted? Now I understand, okay, I understand. But the challenge is, no one can be arrested if you have not said something bad. For example, if I am arrested, I believe They believe that one time or one day I said something that contradicts with a certain thing. That's why I'm arrested. Of course, when you reach there in the cell or whatever, I know you will be tortured, but they will remind you what you have said. Okay? But if you have never said something, there's a lot of members of National Unity Platform. I've never seen all of them have been arrested because there are people who have said a lot of shit, but not a threatening message. But they have been left out. They are there. No one is arrested in them. But the moment you say something that is a threatening message, what do you guys expect? Even if it's you who is the leader. Okay? Now, the other part of the authoritarian is that, of course, everyone wants to protect themselves in the chair. That's the truth. Now, for you to protect yourself in the chair, so you have to use certain tactics to maintain yourself. So, if anyone is trying to come after your chair, what do? And that's what China do. And that's what Russians do. If anyone who is trying to disagree with the government, so they deal with you accordingly. And that's what authoritarian rule is all about. The authoritarian rule where the government take the full control of authority of the running of the state. Then we find in democracy is difference where at least the civilians and the people within that nations, they are also given opportunity to have a say in a certain thing A and B. Which in Uganda, we have two of them. We have two of them. We have both authoritarian and we have the democracy. But according to me, I will tell you, the democracy is still weighing up bigger than the authoritarians. Because doesn't make sense that we want to say that Museveni is a dictator. Then you go to North Korea. Go to North Korea. Where in North Korea you find that everything in schools, they teach about the King Jong. The street all talk about the King Jong. The media talk about him. They show everything is about him. Is that the same thing here we see in Uganda? It's not. So the challenge is, Africa, we need to change our mindset. We need to change the way we think sometimes. First of all, Uganda is building its own democracy. Now, Africa should start building a democracy for Africans. The democracy for your people. We should stop doing what we call copy and paste. Now, most of you're copying a democracy from UK, from USA, from other places, and you want to paste them into your country. And that's why I like what this man did, the president of Burkina Faso. Even he has to ban off this nonsense of putting on the weave and so on when you're a judge and so on, and introduce the fabrics made by the Burkina people. So that is exactly what Africa need to do. Do things that belongs to you people. Don't copy and paste. So the challenge we've been having here is that people are copying and paste. So when you copy and paste things, it doesn't work for you. Okay? The way US democracy work, it won't work for Uganda. Okay? The way UK, Canada, Australia, mention them, Italy, and among others, their democracy cannot work for us. Those guys, they have been for centuries of democracy. They have changed their laws. They have managed laws. For example, if you look at the US law, it has been amended and amended for them to reach to a point where you feel like every citizen understands their right. It has gone through a lot of amendments. And that's exactly what Uganda we are doing. Uganda, we are also going under laws amendments. So for the time will come when the law is fully amended, that every citizen will enjoy the right. But it's a process. It doesn't come one night. It doesn't come one day. That now, boom, here we are. Now everything is now working for us. Now that is not true. That's not how it's going to be. You get the point? It might not be during our generations. It might not be during our time. It will be a time of maybe of our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. They will enjoy that time. Because every generation have their own demands. Last time, if you watch my previous video, one time I remember I make a statement and I said, when Museveni came to power, Museveni didn't come for us, the young generation, okay? Museveni problem that he wanted to solve was the people of 1980s. By then, you understand when Uganda got independent in 1962, there has been war, a lot of war. We never had a peaceful, like a stable army that could keep the country safe. So the problem of 1986 was not the problem of now. Okay, you get the point. So that's why Museveni went to fight. So I even made a statement and I said, now Museveni can no longer solve our problem of now. It will be simple. Either we have people who are fresh and young and belong to our generation. People like maybe Mugisha Muto, people like General Muhoozi Karugaba, people like maybe Bobby Wine, if he can have access to get it right. Okay, so and people like us who are here, we can the one solve a problem of our generation. Okay, but not him. For him, the problem that he came to solve was the problem of 1986. So you get the point, which I believe he has solved at least 70 to 60%. I can say like that. Okay, but the rest of the percentage remaining cannot be solved by him. And every generations have their own problems and their own demands. So guys, it is so confusing and funny to hear all of you keep saying, Uganda, we have no democracy. Uganda, we have no democracy. Guys, let's put it right. Uganda, we have democracy. But the problem is that we don't see it. We want a democracy to be like the one of USA, the one of the Europe people, or the one of Latin America. No. The democracy we have is for the Ugandans. And let's embrace it, let's accept it, and let's support what we have. Because if we truly never had democracy, I don't think some of you would even have the power to enjoy the freedom of the social media. Okay, for example, the content creator. If you go to North Korea, how many content creators are there who can speak freely about the system? It's not there. Okay, no, let's go to Rwanda here. In Rwanda, we have content creators, but they are being depressed down. In Rwanda, you can't talk anyhow about Paul Kagame. Okay, but everyone has their own systems, how they run. But in Uganda, and someone tells me we have no freedom, just turn on the TV, go on social media, go on anything, you will see. Just turn on the radio. Hear how they talk about the government, how they talk about leaders, how they talk about member of parliament, how they talk about the judiciary systems, how they talk about the police, how they talk about the army. And then someone come and say, we have no democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have democracy. But the challenge is, we want a democracy to be like for the West or for the American or for the Latin Americans. No. Africa, it is time for us to build our own democracy. Democracy that suits our own standards, that we know, that we believe in, that we trust in. Not just copycat and paste and put into our system. It's not going to work. And it's not going to take us anywhere. And that's why when you look at a nation that is having a lot of instability, because they think they can use the other people's democracy into their system, doesn't work. In Uganda, because our president is a soldier, he understands how to build his. In Burkina Faso, the same thing. So a country which has a president that's a soldier, at least you see somehow the stability is there compared to the other place. But of course, some people would say we need a civilian president. Yes, we need it, but it's still a process, and the time is coming, and we shall get it. We might not be in our time. Some of you and us, we are now getting old, but our children and our great-grandchildren will have that democracy, will have the civilian president, but by then, it will be Uganda democracy, period. Nothing else, guys. So, I just wanted to put that clarification, okay? Because it is really confusing people when you look at social media. Now, to my fellow brothers and sisters who are under National Unity Platform, I understand you feel the pain of people being adopted and so on, but I want you to have this question into your mind that, why is someone arrested? Okay? Can you go back and look for the videos, any kind of videos? Maybe he mentioned certain things. Let me tell you, no one is arrested when you have not said something. I believe that 100%. No one. Because we have over thousands and thousands of National Unity Platform members. How come all of them have not been arrested? Because you haven't said anything bad against the government. Why should the government come and arrest you when you haven't said anything that is a threat to the government? Okay? You can only be arrested if you said something against the government. Even me, I believe on that. I believe it. If one day I'm arrested, I will know that, yeah, at least I made a mistake somewhere. I'm either in one of my video or whatever it is. But no one on earth can be just arrested like that. Okay? Not like the way USA is now trying to do. Now, for example, now under Donald Trump, where US is telling all the aliens to leave out our country, and is arresting people, deporting people. So is that also democracy? Now, some of you say, oh, that is democracy for United States. Nonsense. So this is also democracy for Uganda, period. So let's accept certain thing and work toward it. If we have disagreement, we can disagree. For me, I'm a historian. Me, I will be honest. Me, I don't fucking play around. I'm a historian. So in history, they tell us that we need to appreciate certain extent. So to certain extent, I will appreciate you. To certain extent, I will disagree with you. As simple as that. So I love history, and that will remain the source of my information, because I believe I have to appreciate and I also have to disagree where necessary to be disagree. Anyway, if you have any questions for me or anything for me, please put into the comment section and let's have the discussion. And if you think you have more information than that, put it there and let me know what exactly you're trying to say. Above all, I have nothing much to tell you. That was just a point of clarifications. Therefore, I sign off. See you guys next time in the next video. Have a wonderful day. I'm gone. So, see you guys. Bye.